Breaking news at 4, Governor Roy Cooper is extending our state's stay-at-home order.
Yeah, that's right. The governor says the state needs more time in order to slow the spread of the virus. So that stay-at-home order has been extended until May 8th.
It's clear that we are flattening the curve, but our state is not ready to lift restrictions yet.
Governor Roy Cooper says easing restrictions too soon would risk public health and hospitals. Dr. Mandy Cohen says the state continues to show improvements on testing, tracing, and trends. She also adds we need to see a decrease or leveling in the number of cases.
Good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton and Taheshah. We are following that breaking news for you. Governor Cooper laying out a plan to reopen the state's economy, but emphasizing that we still need to do our part and stay at home when we can, which is why Taheshah and Eric are home this afternoon. Remember, this is an interactive news show. We are live on Facebook this afternoon. Join our conversation and use the hashtag 4 to 5. Well, President Donald Trump says he disagrees with the Georgia governor's move to reopen businesses in his state. Governor Kemp said he plans to reopen most businesses tomorrow, and he says that those businesses that decide to open will need to follow proper safety guidelines for both customers and employees. He gave the go-ahead to gyms, bowling alleys, tattoo parlors, barbers, hair and nail salons, and massage therapists to open their doors again on Friday. But the president says he isn't sure now is the right time.
I think it's too soon. They can wait a little bit longer, just a little bit, not much, because safety has to predominate. We have to have that.
Now, President Trump says even though he disagrees, it is up to states to decide, and he told Governor Kemp to do what he thinks is right.
So as government leaders, figure out the safest timeline for reopening everything, Americans still say, you know what, we're feeling safer being at home. It's a CBS News poll we're talking about. 63% of Americans say the biggest concern with stay-at-home restrictions is lifting them too quickly, and then the outbreak worsens. 37% are worried we are opening the economy too slowly. When asked if they would go outside if restrictions were lifted, 48% of those polled said they would stay home until the outbreak is over. 39% said that would depend, and 13% said they would no matter what.
Well, when we think about where North Carolina stands, health experts say we're on the right track to reopen safely soon, but not just yet. Dr. Christopher Ohl with Wake Forest Baptist Health is an infectious disease expert. He says our shelter in place is working. Cases are going down for the most part in the state, but he did express some concern over cases in Guilford County. Ohl says our state's seen at least 8 days of decline in new cases overall, but North Carolina hospitals are still getting ready for a possible resurgence. He says right now the state could improve on our supply of personal protective equipment, but we should be all right. He also says hospitals can start working on plans to resume normal operations if they haven't already. In terms of the economy, Dr. Ohl says small businesses should consider what business would look like if they open now, but he thinks it's safe for some businesses to reopen. He adds businesses like salons, spas, and fitness centers should wait till phase 2 of reopening before they reopen their doors, and we'll have more on those phases and what Governor Cooper has to say about them coming up.
And of course, throughout the course of the week, we've been really zeroing in on Thursday, having the potential for maybe some stronger to severe level thunderstorms. Well, I have some good news. We're fine right now. Not out of the woods, but we are A-OK currently across North Carolina. Very cool air, a lot of cloud cover, and yes, some steady rain has helped us to keep any severe weather threat right now at 0. So you can continue to watch just some regular old rain through the afternoon and evening hours, but overnight there still may be some potential for a couple stronger level thunderstorms. Right now this has been our friend, all of this cool air in the 50s, the rain helping to kind of lock that in. But let me walk you through Futurecast. What could happen as we go through the evening and especially the overnight hours, we start to see some warmer air moving in from the south. It's pretty subtle, but watch by the overnight. This is around 1 and 2 a.m. See right here, a couple thunderstorms are possible possible. Not a guarantee that they'll be severe, but it is something we'll still want to have a plan for. So have that severe weather plan ready to go. Sleep next to your phone, and if it rings and alerts you, tune in for us for coverage, and of course get to a safe spot if you need to. But it is a low severe weather threat, certainly lower than it looked a couple of days ago. Over the next several hours, our temperature is probably actually rising a little bit, going to around the low 60s for the overnight. Really watching for the threat of storms maybe between midnight and around 4 a.m. or so. Clearing skies for tomorrow morning, and most of your Friday should be partly sunny and getting much warmer, mid to upper 70s. That is storm number 1. Here is storm number 2. That is coming closer to us by your Saturday. There does look to be at least a low severe weather threat for Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So we'll have more details on that as we get into tomorrow. And then after that, we get a couple of dry weather days for the second half of the weekend.
With your 4 to 5 roundup, unemployment continues to rise both across the nation and in North Carolina. More than 700,000 people in our state have applied for benefits since March 15th. On Tuesday alone, nearly 16,000 people applied. Nationally, more than 4 million Americans applied for unemployment last week. It is the 5th straight week that job losses were measured in the millions. From March 15th to April 18th, more than 26 million people have been laid off or furloughed. Members of the House are gearing up for a vote on a nearly $500 billion coronavirus relief bill today. The Senate passed it on Tuesday. The bill provides $25 billion for COVID-19 testing, $75 billion for hospitals, and nearly $400 billion for small business relief. That money will go toward replenishing the Paycheck Protection Program. Well, Target workers are planning a sick out on May 1st. Organizers say the company is not giving them enough protection from work at COVID-19. A group called Target Workers Unite claims Target is more focused on sales than employee health. Stores have reduced hours and have supplied masks to workers, but they're not required to wear those masks. The company says it's important that team members feel comfortable sharing their concerns. And Walmart stores updated their response to the virus by creating one-way aisles. They're designed to increase social distancing. That new measure starts today in all stores. You'll see floor decals to tell you which way to travel. Governor Cooper's April 9th executive order encouraged all stores to have those one-way aisles, but did not mandate it.
A Greensboro man is giving back to frontline workers by providing them with warm meals. This is happening at Cone Health Hospitals. He says it's the least he can do for who he calls soldiers in the war against coronavirus.
After grabbing lunch from Stamey's earlier this month, Maury Kennedy says he drove by a nurse at Wesley Long Hospital in Greensboro.
I said to my family, I just wish I could do something. I wish I could give her my lunch.
It was then that the wheels started turning.
So the idea hit me, why not raise money, feed the nurses by buying food from the very restaurants in town who are struggling, and everybody kind of wins for the day.
So Maury, along with his daughter Julia, started a GoFundMe campaign to feed frontline healthcare workers. They initially raised enough money to feed 150 people and worked with Stamey's to provide the meal.
And I woke up the next morning and lo and behold, we had raised enough money to feed the entire hospital again.
The campaign exploded.
Literally been one $10 donation after another. To date, we're up to $11,000 and we've fed right around 1,000 hospital employees so far.
Since then, they've partnered with about 9 restaurants around town. Maury says he's refused any discounts restaurants offered while including a 20% tip on the orders.
Because ultimately, we want this whole entire campaign to benefit local business as much as it puts a smile on a nurse's face.
The Kennedys also teamed up with Triad Paw Prints, a local t-shirt company, to provide a free t-shirt to everyone who donates. It features the design of local artist Jen Rice. For Julia, being a part of this project holds a special meaning because she's studying to become a nurse.
It honestly feels amazing because ever since I was younger, I've always looked up to them and everything they've done for me and any of my family members that's come into an encounter with a nurse.
Maury says the community shocked him in the best way possible.
We never intended for this to become an ongoing campaign, But for as long as the money has continued to come in, we're going to continue feeding nurses.
No donation is too small in Cone Health's eyes, who say they are so thankful for how the community has wrapped its arms around their workers.
Whether you're one person who just sent one meal to a team member one time, or you're someone like Maury who's been able to raise resources to do it multiple times, it really does make a huge difference, and we are so grateful.
So Maury and his team will be feeding 60 nurses tonight, and the meal will come from Mythos and dessert from Easy Peasy Decadent Desserts. Maddie, it was really just a pleasure for me to talk with Maury and his daughter Julie, and you could just see their passion for wanting to give back. He said, you know, this was really the only thing that he felt he could do while social distancing, because he was able to coordinate everything from his house.
And you know, those healthcare workers, everyone on the front lines really appreciates that generosity from him. And Taheshah, I love how he just started off by saying, I'll do this a couple of times, and now it's just grown and kept going. So we got to look for the helpers in these situations, and he certainly is one.
Yeah, and that warm meal, definitely appreciative. There was a funny story here. He was able to provide some meals for healthcare workers that were actually taking care of his father-in-law, who was at the hospital. So he said just that alone made the whole thing worth it for him.
That. All right. Well, we want to hear from you. Have you seen any helpers out there? Share those good news stories with us. We are live streaming on our Facebook page, WFMY News 2. Share your comment and use the hashtag 4to5. We'll be right back. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. There are some events happening tomorrow that could benefit you and your family. Whole Man Ministries is hosting a grab and go in Winston-Salem. Church pastors are handing out household goods, washable face masks, and food boxes. The drive-through service starts at 2:30 and will run through 4:30. It's happening on Old Lexington Road.
Tomorrow you will be able to get fresh chicken at a markdown thanks to Daystar Church. They are partnering with Rayford Farms to sell boxes of chicken. So here's the information you didn't know. They are selling them at 40-pound boxes. That will be at a discount. Boneless breasts will be $45, boneless thighs $35, frozen party wings at $60, and chicken tenders at $50. Now the sale begins at 11 a.m. and be sure to listen to this. It is cash only. And now because of the sale, they will not be doing their normal free food giveaway with the Out of the Garden project tomorrow. That will pick back up on Monday.
And the Guilford County Sheriff's Office wants you to stay healthy, so they call for some backup to reinforce safe and healthy practices. McGruff, the crime dog, helped the Sheriff's Office put together this video. It reminds us all of ways to fight germs instead of crime. Now, they say it's okay to see people wearing masks in public, even if they aren't sick, and they remind you that those people are protecting your health and their own. McGruff and deputies say you still need to stay 6 feet away from anyone who you don't live with. If you cough or sneeze, make sure you cover your mouth with tissues and then throw those tissues away immediately. And of course, wash your hands before you touch your eyes or your face. Really, avoid touching your face at all. Thanks for those reminders, McGruff. We'll be right back.
This is a tough time for musicians. I mean, think about this. It's tough for musicians right now. Most of the gigs are canceled, but some local musicians, they're not thinking about themselves. They're thinking about others in a time of need. It's pretty big with their hearts, just huge out there. Take a look at how they're raising money for others.
Good old boys and country girls without a place in the world to go.
So I'm so excited because we're talking about musicians, local musicians, which I love. You know, that's a soft spot in my heart. And I'm so excited. We have Jacob Vaughn and Sydney with us today. And you know, the thing that's going on this Friday night is super cool. And Jacob, I'm going to let you talk about this because this is kind of your brainchild.
Actually, the idea came up, Joe Dexter of Rockingham Now. It was kind of his idea. He saw that there was a problem, a dual problem, kind of, sort of. It was a problem where kids aren't able to eat because they're not at school, and musicians can't make money because they're not playing gigs. So we put those two together, and we kind of that's where Rockade was born. And so we have a plethora of stuff coming live on Friday night.
So, Sydney, talk about, from a musician standpoint who's a part of this, I mean, this is a big deal to you. What does it mean to you, and what will you do that night?
It means so much to me, and I'm so thankful that I'm getting to be a part of this. And it means a lot to me because it's musicians supporting musicians, but even outside of that, the community supporting each other, and I think that's incredible. And I'm super excited to be a part of it and share my music.
Now, I'm super excited because as a musician, this is really cool to see and I've known each of you individually, and when you guys get together, this is going to be crazy. Just thanks a lot for doing this, and we look forward to seeing you Friday night.
Super neat here. I mean, if you want to watch this live event, and you can donate too by texting a certain number to a certain number. So we have all that information for you. You really need to see this. It does stream at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. It is live. There are more than just Jacob and Sydney. There's a whole lineup of celebrities, we'll call them, local musician celebrities, and they're doing original music, maybe a few covers here and there too. But look for the Rockade story on WFMYnews2.com so you can be there.
I think that's a perfect way to kind of cap off the week, get the weekend started. You know, you're listening to some local musicians. You're also supporting a good cause area. This is a good idea they had.
Yeah, feeding the kids locally that depend on those meals from schools, and they're not seeing that in school now. They're not getting 3 meals a day, so it's a noble cause.
And you know, I hate to say it, but I hadn't thought a lot about how much this affects musicians in those live concerts and everything, because obviously all of those events and those gatherings are canceled. So I'm glad that you've put the spotlight on this, just as a reminder that, you know, many different businesses, many different professions have been hit by this virus.
Absolutely. Musicians are taking it on the chin, but here are some that are thinking of others instead of themselves when they need money as well.
That's awesome. All right, again, we'll post all that information for you on our website. Don't forget, this is a two-way street. We're talking at you, but we want you to talk back. So we are live streaming on Facebook right now, WFMY News 2. Hop on over, get in the comments section. Use our hashtag 4 to 5. We'll see you there.
All right, folks, Tim Buckley here watching the radar for you as we go throughout the afternoon and evening. Things are pretty quiet. They should stay that way for a long while, at least through about 8 p.m. to midnight. But after that, I do still think it's wise for us to have a plan before we go to bed. There is still some chance of thunderstorms overnight, mainly while we're sleeping, especially between midnight and 6 in the morning. So what I want you to do, make sure you're sleeping next to the phone, have good ways to get those alerts just like you did several weeks ago. I'll show you why we're tracking this. Everything's quiet here with just cloud cover, easy going, no issues really. It's just cool and damp. But back over here from Tennessee to Alabama and Mississippi, this is where the actual cold front is. And you can see not many storms here, but there are at least a couple that are starting to pop up. It's that part of the system that'll get closer to us while we're in bed. So between 12 a.m. and 6, that's when that part of the storm crosses. Notice our Futurecast doesn't really pop any storms there, but a couple other models I look at do put a couple in our area, and it would be possible for a few of those to get severe. So that's the time I'd like you to pay attention to overnight. We're easy for Friday, mid-70s, very nice weather there, but this will be storm number 2, and that's what gets closer to us and approaches for Saturday. It'll be no problems in the morning, but this part of the storm will be the stronger part. That's late afternoon into late evening for Saturday. There is at least a low chance of severe weather there as well for the start of the weekend. Closer look at everything right now. We have no problems currently through the afternoon and evening. Just some on again, off again chilly rain with clouds and staying cool, but overnight we'll keep an eye on things for you. You can count on us to have any coverage if any warnings are issued. For tomorrow, upper 70s, maybe even close to 80 in some areas. There's a bit of a breeze out there, but we're mainly dry. For Saturday, that rain chance and storm chance is from late afternoon into late evening, let's say from 4 p.m. to midnight.
Tim, thank you. WFMY News 2, we want you to be prepared for severe weather at all times. And the first thing you can do is make sure you download our free WFMY News 2 app on your smartphone.
And to make it easier for you, all you have to do is text the word app, APP, to 336-379-5775. And there you will get a link to download the app to your phone. So be sure to keep your devices charged at all times, just in case we do get any severe weather. That way you can stay in contact with someone if a power outage were to happen overnight. People can get in contact with you. And that way you'll also be sure to get notifications from the WFMY News 2 app. Be sure to program all emergency numbers and emails into your phone now, just in case if you haven't already. If you hear thunder, go inside. And remember, tornado watch means keep an eye to the sky. Warning means take cover quickly.
Well, again, you can text us to get the WFMY News 2 app on your phone. You can also text that number to get an interactive radar. Just text the word radar to 336-379-5775. We'll send you a link and it will take you right to the radar where you can see it. Again, text radar to 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.
Hey there, ice cold milk.
Governor Roy Cooper just announced his plan to reopen the state, and he broke it up into 3 phases that will happen over the next few months. Phase 1, a stay-at-home order is in place, but it's modified so retailers and services can reopen. They will, however, have to follow social distancing and cleaning guidelines. Mass gatherings are still limited to less than 10 people. He says parks can reopen and face coverings are recommended. Let's take a look at phase 2 now. This will happen 2 to 3 weeks after phase 1. He says they will lift the stay-at-home order but encourage vulnerable populations to stay at home. Restaurants, bars, and other businesses will be able to reopen, but they'll have to do so at a reduced capacity. They will also increase the number of people allowed at mass gatherings. Finally, phase 3, this comes 4 to 6 weeks after phase 2. He says they will lessen restrictions for those vulnerable populations. They will still encourage social distancing, and they will allow increased capacity at mass gatherings and businesses. Now, it is important to note here, the governor says these phases would have to start over if we see another spike in cases. Welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton and Taheshah Moise. We are practicing social distancing here. Eric and Taheshah are both live from their houses, but we want you to chat with us on our live stream. We are streaming on WFMY News 2's Facebook page. Join our conversation and use our hashtag 4 to 5.
Let's get you caught up on some headlines of the day with your 4 to 5 roundup. Novant Health has announced that they are expecting to restart non-essential surgeries and procedures starting on May 4th. The clinics will also hold appointments that were delayed due to the virus outbreak, and virtual care options will still continue. Anyone whose appointment was delayed will hear from doctors as soon as possible. Novant Health will continue practicing social distancing, and extra safety precautions will go into place for the safety of both patients and staff. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is reaching out for help getting personal protective equipment. The state is asking companies and manufacturers to help make equipment if they have the means. What they need are respirators, gowns, masks, and face shields. If you or your company can help, visit the department's Facebook page for the link. And I think it's going to be a long time before the Rocket Man comes to Greensboro. Unfortunately, Elton John is postponing the rest of his farewell tour across the U.S. for the rest of the year, including that stop here in Greensboro. Ticket holders should hold on to their tickets, though, until 2021 dates, but those new dates haven't been announced just yet. The state of Missouri and Mississippi are suing the Chinese government for the coronavirus outbreak. The lawsuit claims that the country did not do enough to stop the outbreak. Missouri Attorney Eric Schmidt says the country hid information, arrested whistleblowers, and lied about how contagious the virus is. Missouri is filing for compensation for costs in handling the outbreak. CBS News legal analysts say the lawsuit faces challenges because under Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, foreign countries are immune from U.S. prosecution. Now, in an attempt to get around this, Missouri says that they are suing the Communist Party of China instead of the People's Republic of China.
All right, so far so good today. Weather-wise, we've had a good amount of cloud cover keeping us cool. And with that rain, we have not had any thunderstorms. No severe weather as of yet in the Carolinas. I am still watching, though. Nothing is going to happen at all of note for several hours. But overnight, we'll have to watch carefully. Notice how it's a little warmer down here to the south. As that warmer air starts to move northward, it could have a window of opportunity that opens while we're sleeping, mainly between midnight and 6 a.m. for a couple of storms to form. Like I said, though, this evening is fine. No doubts about that. Here's midnight, though. Notice little storms like that. They could sneak through here, and 1 or 2 of those might have the potential to get a little strong or a little severe as well. So we'll be watching the radar for you overnight just to make sure that everyone is being safe. These are the main points. Cool and damp this evening. No storms, at least for a while. We'll still watch between midnight and 6 in the morning. Have a plan before you go to bed. Make sure you're sleeping next to that phone and the alerts are turned on. Have the News 2 radar app ready to go and make sure the alerts are turned on there as well. Tomorrow's a nice day. We're up to 77 degrees. Saturday, though, brings another threat for some storms. We'll talk more about that coming up.
All right, there are at least 6 dead due to tornadoes and severe storms all across the South. Tornadoes, by the way, they were reported in Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. Now, the southeastern states expecting more storms and flash flooding. You can see that on the radar when Tim was talking about that. More than 100,000 people as of this morning were without power. That stretched from Texas to Mississippi.
All right, so you hear about those storms in the southeast. That is what is heading this way. So we do want you to be prepared for the potential of severe weather. So the first thing you can do to prepare is make sure you have the WFMY News 2 app downloaded onto your phone. We've made it easy for you to get it. All you have to do is text the word app to 336-379-5775. And as Tim mentioned not too long ago, keep your devices charged at all times, because if that happens, you can stay in touch with anyone if the power goes off. Also, be sure to turn on the notifications for the WFMY News 2 app when you have it downloaded, and program all emergency numbers and emails into your phone. If you hear thunder, head inside. And we do want to differentiate between tornado watch and tornado warning. Tornado watch means keep an eye to the sky. Tornado warning means take cover quickly. Again, all you have to do is text the word app to 336-379-5775 to get the WFMY News 2 app downloaded right to your phone. And you can also get the interactive radar that way as well.
All right, let's take a break for a bit and talk about something good. Today is Thankful Thursday. So I ask you on my Facebook page, what are you thankful for? Let's go ahead and take a look at a few of your comments. Jana said, my hummingbirds are back. They remind me of my mom since she loved them so much. Makes me happy. Becky York says, thankful that my recent mammogram did not show any reoccurrence of the cancer I had last year. Great news, Becky. Karma said, people working so hard to keep us safe. That's what she is thankful for. Wendy Harless said, thankful for stillness that is bringing so much wildlife to our yard. And Lisa said, I'm thankful for this time together with my family. My kids will be gone soon enough, and I cherish all of this time with them. Finally, Shane Graves said, my salvation, my beautiful children and family. And then, thank you, Jesus. I don't know if that's exactly how Shane wanted that to be said, but that's how I would say it. Thank you, Jesus. What do you think, Eric?
I think that's dead on. That is perfect. That's exactly what it should be. Yep, I agree. I'm thankful. I tell you what, the number one thing that I'm thankful for is that nobody in my family is sick. That is my biggest thing right now.
That's a big one. Definitely thankful for that, Eric. Thankful that I still have a job right now. A lot of people going without, and thankful for friends and family who I'm staying in contact with. I mean, I know I'm not really seeing you in person, but I'm seeing you through the screen. It's nice to just check in and make sure everybody's doing okay. I love this connection.
That's all we can hope for. Yeah, I'm just glad you'd be glad you still have friends. That's the bottom line, no matter how you're talking to them.
I don't know what you're trying to tell me right now. Be thankful I still have friends. Maybe he thinks I need more. I don't know. Eric, I miss you, buddy. All right, let's check in now with Tanya.
What if you can't pay the mortgage when May rolls around? Now, this is something a whole lot of folks may be thinking about right now for this month.
Or maybe, it's just in the back of their mind for the next couple of months.
Yeah, well, either way, it is a scary thought for a lot of folks. And the CARES Act allows you to put your mortgage on hold for a short time. Unfortunately, the CARES Act also did not give lenders a timeline or guidance on how to make you pay it back. So how could the lenders get the money back? Well, they could force you to give them a lump sum as soon as the forbearance period for your mortgage is over, or they could make you split up the money you owe over just a few months and add it to your mortgage payments once you start paying again.
You may no longer be able to afford that payment. Make sure you call and figure out exactly what the terms are of the forbearance if you were to get into it, and most importantly, get something in writing.
Now I need you to get your phones out if you don't have them out already, because tonight we want you to text your questions to 336-379-5775. Why? We're talking unemployment and we're talking new jobs that are out there. How you get the expert to answer your questions is text them.
Hi, mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6. East Forsyth gets their rings. We're in a really cool way through a drive-through.
I can hear you now. I just plugged in. 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
You know, when you're a true Panthers fan, you'll do anything to be part of the team. Well, one Panthers fan sort of fell into the role through a stroke of luck. I chatted with her earlier today. She's very lucky. Take a look.
So I'm thrilled to have Amy Barrier with me today because, man, you are living my dream with this competition. Amy, tell us how this came about. How did you find out about the competition and what happened when you won?
And happened to see the contest be advertised by the Carolina Panthers and the NFL. So I decided, why not enter? Even though, like anybody else, I don't ever seem to win anything. But entered and got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize, so I did not answer it, and then quickly reviewed the voicemail and realized it was from a team official from the Carolina Panthers, and then realized that I had actually won and was very excited.
First of all, let's talk about what you will be doing tonight during the draft. Can we see you on the draft?
You should be able to see us. They chose 15 individuals per every NFL team. So it's kind of a platform like Zoom, and that each time your pick is called for your particular team, they should show us on the background cheering and film our reactions to the pick, and hopefully we can make a good pick tonight and shore up our defense for the upcoming season. So just really looking forward to seeing what the Panthers do tonight. I have a feeling we may be shocked, but hopefully it'll be an immediate impact player that'll make a difference for the team.
Spoken like a true analyst. Thanks for joining us today, Amy. Best of luck tonight.
All right, thank you so much.
So she's very excited, as you might guess. And she should appear pretty early in the show because the Panthers had a pretty cruddy season last year, so we'll be early in the draft lineup. She was giving me some predictions, but she just said, I just want an impact player. We need one impact player to start the rebuilding.
Jilton, I hear a twinge of jealousy in your voice.
Yes. Yes, that would be exactly what you hear. Because when I got off the interview with her, I just sat there and looked around like, what am I doing? I'm sitting here in my study. She's going to be on the NFL draft.
It's a really cool thing to do, you know, since the draft is going to look different this year, just to involve those players. Oh, do you need a hug? Poor Jilton.
I do. A little virtual hug. Thank you so much.
Oh, goodness. All right, speaking of the NFL draft, it starts tonight at 8 o'clock, and then we're going to find out where the top players in the country are going to play next season. But, of course, this draft is going to look a lot different than it has in years past. It is all virtual. WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson is telling us what we can expect.
The NFL draft is going to look a whole lot like this. Teams drafting players from their homes and players receiving potentially the biggest call of their life in their living room. One guy who expects to get that call over the course of the next couple days, Page High School alum and Maryland running back Javon Leak. After 3 years at Maryland, he decided it was time to enter the NFL draft. He was supposed to get a pro day, an extra day to show the scouts what he's got, but of course, that was canceled. He says he's glad he was able to have the combine though. He explains how the coronavirus is impacting football.
It's been weird ever since the combine, you know, just not being able to do pro day and just everything's just on the phone. So in Zoom now, so I just, you know, it's definitely weird, but you know, it's what we got to deal with. So that's how it is. There's gonna be a lot of emotions, but you know, I'm gonna just be so happy. You know, it's just, I don't even know how to describe it just because I don't know what it feels like. But you know, this weekend, I'm gonna be ready, just waiting for the call, and you know, I'm gonna just be thankful and just celebrate with my family.
Leak says he'll be at home watching the draft from his living room in Greensboro. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how the draft will go, if there will be technical difficulties, but I think fans just want to see some live sports. It's great to watch those games and see what has happened in the past, but we know what happens there. This, we don't know what will happen.
All right, the weather so far today, man, has it been chilly and cool and damp and overall just not pleasant. But we should be thankful for this cooler, wet weather that we're having right now. That's helping to prevent any nasty storms from forming, at least in the near term. Look at the temperatures. It's very cool outside. 50s here. We are seeing some warmth sneak in from the south, though, and those 60s as they move closer to us overnight may still introduce a small threat of severe storms. We should be fine through midnight. I'm not really worried about that. But as you're going to bed, make sure to have the phone still close at hand. A couple of little storms could sneak in here, and it is still possible for a couple of them to maybe pack a little bit of a punch. So a low severe weather threat does remain overnight, and then into tomorrow. That's when we get a better weather day. Clearing out the sky, a lot of sun to go around, bit of a breeze, but it's warm. We're in the upper 70s for Friday. It's taking a peek of the weekend. Still have to watch Saturday night. There will be another threat for thunderstorms.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5, we're digging deeper into an outbreak at a Guilford County nursing home where 20 residents and 12 staff members tested positive for the coronavirus. Next, hear from the grandson of a couple living there who both tested positive. That's coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. So many of you have reached out to us asking about the recovery numbers around the world. So we wanted to share with you some of those recovery stories. Take a look.
Even if it makes a difference for just one person that's in an ICU bed, that's huge. That could potentially save a life.
And Taheshah, like the video said, thousands of people have recovered worldwide. And I do think we need to remember that as we talk about these stories, because it is such a bright side and something to look forward to, a goal.
Yeah, and it puts it into perspective. And I love when I see the videos of the patients walking through the hallways and, you know, all of the healthcare workers cheering them on. I feel like that's what we need to be doing for the healthcare workers every day, you know, because they do so much for us. But it is always really encouraging to see people get over this and get through this.
Yeah. And they keep saying, you know, we're all in this together. We feel for people who have loved ones who are battling this virus, but we're also with them in the celebration when they recover and they overcome that. And we're, of course, with the healthcare workers, the frontline workers, too, as, you know, they really lead that charge.
Yeah.
Watching the weather closely as we go into tonight, but everything's fine right now. It's just a yucky day. Check it out. This is a live look over Wake Forest University. Cloud cover, yes. Rain, drizzle, yes, that too. And the temperatures, well, they're only in the 50s. This is part of the reason that we have had no severe weather to speak of so far today. It's too cool for that. But overnight, the temperature should actually rise ever so slightly, and that might actually present the threat for some storms between midnight and 6 in the morning. Tomorrow's a beautiful day in the 70s, but watching this system as we get closer to Saturday, that's the next one we'll have to keep our eye on. I do think there will be a severe thunderstorm threat there for the late afternoon into the late evening. Looking at the rest of the 7-day forecast, we're in April now, folks. There's not a lot of warm weather ahead. A little bit of a cool down.